Ladies, today we will speak about value, transformation, and silent empowerment. There comes a time in every elegant woman's life when she must choose how she will respond to a moment of being underestimated or undervalued. While it may be tempting to seek confrontation or closure, I invite you instead to embrace something far more powerful: evolution. Self-elevation is the most powerful form of closure a woman can give herself. It is a concept rooted in dignity, self-respect, and intentional growth. Many women, after feeling dismissed, hurt, or devalued, seek external validation to prove their worth. This is entirely human. Yet, seeking validation through confrontation or attempts to be seen by those who failed to recognize your value in the first place only reinforces the idea that your worth depends on their acknowledgement. And that, my dear, is not how you women operate. When someone has had access to you, your time, your energy, your femininity, your loyalty, and fails to appreciate it, the last thing you should do is chase clarity from them. True clarity comes from within. True closure is not about receiving an apology or a realization from another. It is about recognizing your inherent worth and choosing to elevate so far above the situation that it no longer holds power over you. Self-elevation begins in silence. It begins when you decide, I will not waste another moment proving what is already evident, that I am worthy of love, of care, of effort. Instead, you redirect that energy inward. You refine your world. You cultivate new levels of elegance, not for appearance's sake, but because grace becomes a natural part of your healing and growth. A woman who focuses on self-elevation doesn't need to declare what she's doing. She simply becomes unavailable emotionally, energetically, and eventually even visually. She steps into environments that reflect the future she is building, not the past she is leaving behind. She adopts habits that bring her peace, clarity, and confidence. She invests in her knowledge, in her style, in her wellness, in her network. She doesn't look back because what is behind her cannot match what she is walking into. What makes this elevation so powerful is that it's not about them. It's entirely about you. It's not revenge, it's not performance, it's liberation, and it's sustainable because it's built on solid ground, your own self-worth. And as you rise, without any bitterness, without any public displays of revenge or sadness, the world begins to shift its gaze. Those who once doubted or underestimated you will see what they no longer have access to, not because you said it, but because they feel it. The shift is undeniable. The glow is real. When a woman begins to live in full alignment with herself, worth, everything about her changes. Her posture, her language, her standards, her circle, her goals. She is no longer available for chaos, for uncertainty, for emotional breadcrumbs. And most importantly, she is no longer seeking the very thing she already holds inside her: validation. This form of elevation isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention, but it commands respect, because there is nothing more captivating than a woman who has reclaimed her energy, redirected her focus, and redefined her path, not in opposition to someone else, but in harmony with herself. And yes, those who once took you for granted may eventually notice, but by then your standards have evolved. What once might have affected you deeply becomes irrelevant because you have risen. You've outgrown that version of yourself. You're no longer accessible to the situations that once drained you. You are too busy becoming magnetic, mastering your presence, and living a life that speaks for itself. So remember, you do not make someone realize what they lost by showing them what you can do. You do it by becoming someone they never had the capacity to hold, someone who didn't just heal, but elevated. That is the ultimate closure. That is your power. Your glow-up is not about them. It's about you. This is one of the most important lessons any elegant, self-aware woman can learn. It may seem tempting to frame your transformation as a response to how someone treated you or failed to see your worth. And for a fleeting moment, that motivation may even feel empowering, but true transformation, sustainable, radiant, and authentic, cannot be rooted in proving someone wrong. It must be born from a decision to become someone right for yourself. When you shift your focus from being seen to seeing yourself, everything begins to change. You stop making decisions out of emotional reaction and start moving with intentional refinement. You no longer do things to be noticed by others. You do them because they elevate you. You no longer dress well, speak well, or live well as a way to catch attention. You do it because it is aligned with the woman you are becoming. That is the essence of a hive. You glow up. It is deeply personal, beautifully private, and completely inward. And ironically, it's that very detachment from external validation that makes your growth so noticeable, because true elegance doesn't demand attention, it draws it naturally. We've been conditioned to believe that someone must see our value for it to exist, but in reality, your value doesn't begin when someone acknowledges it. It's always been there. The only difference is whether you recognize it for yourself or wait for someone else to confirm it. A refined woman doesn't wait. She creates her reality through her standards, her habits, and her presence. The glow up, then, is not just aesthetic. It's not about photos or status or carefully curated appearances. It's internal. It's about how you hold space for yourself, how you regulate your emotions, how you handle setbacks with composure, and how you continue to choose dignity even when you could choose drama. It's a mindset, a way of moving in the world that reflects your self-respect. This process is not about making someone wish they had treated you better. That may happen, but it is a byproduct, not the purpose. If you allow your evolution to be driven by the desire to provoke regret in others, you give them too much control over your journey. But when your motivation is centered on building a life that feels rich, peaceful, and authentic to you, the empowerment you gain becomes untouchable. You become magnetic, not because you're seeking attention, but because you've developed an aura of self-assurance that cannot be faked. You exude calm, confidence, and charm. Your words carry weight. Your silence carries power. And suddenly, the people who once overlooked you begin to notice that something has shifted. It's not that you're louder, it's that your energy is no longer available for anything less than excellence. You must remember, growth that is reactive is fragile. Growth that is intentional is unshakable. So build yourself not as a statement to the past, but as a vision for your future. Every habit you upgrade, every space you step into with poise, every boundary you reinforce, it all sends a quiet but powerful message. I know who I am now, and I won't shrink to fit where I once belonged. The most elegant revenge, if you can even call it that, is not revenge at all. It's grace, it's silence, it's peace. It's being so fully immersed in the richness of your own life that others become irrelevant, not out of malice, but because you've outgrown the version of yourself who once needed their attention. Let your glow-up be sacred. Let it be about alignment, not reaction. Let it be so authentic that even you are in awe of your own transformation. Because when you start living for your own fulfillment, the world doesn't just notice. It adjusts, opportunities find you, people respect you, energy flows toward you, not because you sought it, but because you embodied it. That is the true glow up. That is your quiet power. Your elevation is not a reaction. It is a reflection of the woman you were always meant to be. When you choose to rise with grace, heal with intention, and live with purpose, the realization of what was lost happens naturally, without your participation. So do not look back. Do not dim your light to be understood by those who lack the vision to see your brilliance. Instead, step fully into your femininity, your elegance, your high standards, and your quiet strength. Because when a woman chooses to make herself her priority, she becomes unforgettable, and that, my dear, is how you make them realize, without ever saying a word.